Okay, so I just re-honed this lightly. To those down there, was able to squirt liquid through from one side to another. These and make sure they're okay. Now it's time to put assembly lube on the bearings and put the crankshaft into the block. If this will, so when it starts up, it'll these bearings. Okay, block. There's a video I'm watching behind me. Guy named Dry Out. That's not good. Outside. Put it on there. Slide it around down in. Nice. Perfect. Definitely tighter this side. Okay, now time to put on the bearing caps. Up. The bolts to hold down the bearing caps. All right, crankshaft is in and now needs to be torqued down.
Still spins? Yep. Oh yeah. Perfect.
All right, now 30. All right, now 90 degrees. Turn it. 90 degrees. Don't want to do that. Okay, so all these have been torqued to 15 and then to 30, and then each of them went 90 degrees. So these are done. The next thing is to get the pistons ready and then get the connecting rods on here with each of those. D&J piston rings groove that's right in there. So I scrape it out, I get it off of there. One down, 3 to go. So the crank is on the bottom. I've got this flipped over so that I can start measuring the piston rings. And as you can see, the crank is down there at the bottom and turned over. I've just cleaned those up. Next thing I do is need to get the new rings and put them in here and check their ring gap. And I will put this down in here, turn it sideways, and then I'll use a piston, make sure it's level. 0.22 to 0.27, and that's 0.22 went in really easily. 0.27 seems to slide through it pretty good.
Push it down even. That's tight. There's been plenty of gap in every one of them so far. Yep, that's
basically how to take it here and then file it like along there to get the end down a little bit. All right, just did some plastic gauge to check the gap. Okay, just put on the oil ring in there, and now I'm going to put the outside rings.
right in that groove. There we go.
And so we'll put that on in here. Without snapping it. All right, here's how the second piston is going to go in. Put it over top of that. Make sure the rings stay in like this on the piston, so that way they can get put into here without getting popped off of there. Inside the cylinder. So this goes toward the front. Get that right down about there. Make sure it gets in lined up. Turn this, crank it down a little more. All right. Tap this so it's seated nicely there. And a couple little taps. Right in. That's off. Okay, so now I'm gonna flip this over. On this side, on here, get that all around there, and turn that so that the bearing seats right in there. Assembly lube on it. Make sure it's, and then thread them all in. Turn the crank over. All right, and we're gonna do it 90 degrees. All right, so that's it. I'm getting that in. The crank is in place. So basically the short block has been built. Now it's going to take a little bit of wear in at first because the cylinders have been honed, but that's all the pistons inside the cylinders. So I've got the short block built. Got the crank in, all the connecting rods are in, connecting to the pistons. Pistons are in. And coming along.